4 years ago, my father died suddenly of a stroke, and I reluctantly inherited his 3-year-old Great Dane, Chuck. I had grown up with dogs and had no aversion to them, but I had not owned a dog myself and was always hesitant because I rented a small apartment. I was barely making ends meet in my minimum wage job, and I attended college part-time. My father's passing hit me hard emotionally, and I clung to his memory through Chuck. Chuck had always been at my dad's side. Great Danes are followers, you see. And although it was very clear that Chuck missed my father, he picked up following me everywhere I would go. The patio, kitchen, bathroom, and he even attempted the shower many times. His presence and sweet nature got me through one of the hardest parts of my life. Life settled and time went by, then the economy turned and I found myself without a job. With no family to turn to, I looked to Chuck for support, and I stayed confident that I could make things work. I looked for work full-time and took odd jobs here and there to pay rent. With any money I had left, I fed Chuck and myself. But Chuck's diet had suffered, and in my efforts to keep him healthy, mine did as well. Chuck was my family and all I had left. My thoughts of him suffering or having to give him up pained me every day. It was a rainy, cold, dreary day at a Portland dog park when I struck up conversation with a fellow pet parent. It had been a particularly hard week with very little food. I was weak, and my look must have matched the weather because he urged me to tell him my story. I barely finished the short version when he said, "Pongo. Go to Pongo. They will feed Chuck so you can feed yourself." It was a few days until I could make it to the Pongo Fund's donation center. I went through the process, nervous and scared that I would get turned away for having a large breed dog, or because I wasn't homeless, or that I was unworthy for other reasons. Although it was another cold, rainy, dreary day, I saw smiling faces, welcoming looks, and for the first time in those difficult months, I didn't feel alone. I saw sunshine that day in the form of hope. The Pongo Fund gave me the support I needed, that Chuck needed, so that I could increase my health, get my feet back on the ground, and my life back together. They did something basic, but huge. They fed the soul of my family.
This story, and others very close to it, are the reason the Pongo Fund exists. We work for the day when no dog or cat goes hungry simply because their families cannot afford to keep them fed, and for when no family goes hungry simply to keep their pet fed. We provide emergency pet food relief to those in honest need. We reduce shelter populations, and we keep people and their pets together. We feed the soul of the family. Please click the link below to read more about us. We are always in need of donations, volunteers, and support. Please consider adding this video to your social media sites. Tell your family and friends about us, and help us continue to reduce the number of surrendered pets and struggling families. Please help us make a difference.